Hello there and welcome to Banned Book Talk. My name is Colleen. I'm a Youth Services Librarian with the Corpus Christi Public Libraries, and this program is recommended for teens ages 12 and up. Now, the materials we discuss throughout this program may not always be suitable for everyone, so some parental guidance is recommended, however, censorship is not. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive on into today's topic. Today, we will be discussing the top 10 challenged books of 2019. Now, why 2019, you ask? Well, that is just the year that we have the most recent information from. In September, the American Library Association, or ALA, will release the data that it collected in 2020, and we'll be able to see an updated list and see what kind of trend went on in 2020 in terms of banned books. Now, if you haven't already, you might want to check out the first video in this series, What Are Banned Books?, just to get some general information on the terms and statistics that I may be referencing in this video. Now, just to put this list into a little bit of context, in 2019, there were 607 official challenges against books, films, and newspapers. Of those, 377 were towards books, and overall, there were 566 titles that were targeted by censorship. And those are just the ones that we have records of official challenges being made against them. Now, many of these books are no strangers to censorship or to being challenged or banned. In fact, a lot of them have been on one of these lists multiple times since their original publication date, often for many different reasons. But today we are just going to focus on the top 10 challenged books of 2019, like I said. And as I count down this list, I'll give you a little bit of information about the book in case you might be interested in checking it out yourself. I will also read off the reasons for the book being challenged, according to the information gathered by the ALA, and I will let you know if these books are available through us, the Corpus Christi Public Libraries. So let's go ahead and begin. Number 10, Antango Makes 3 by Peter Parnell and Justin Richardson, illustrated by Henry Cole. At New York City's Central Park Zoo, two male penguins fall in love and start a family by taking turns sitting on an abandoned egg until it hatches. This is a children's picture book for early elementary kids, and it is also nonfiction. This is an actual story that actually happened at the Central Park Zoo. And it has been challenged and relocated for LGBTQIA+ content. And yes, we do have a few copies in our system if you want to check it out for yourself. Number 9, the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. Rescued from the outrageous neglect of his aunt and uncle, a young boy with a great destiny proves his worth while attending Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. This is a series that spans from middle grade chapter books all the way to young adult books. And it has been banned and forbidden from discussion for referring to magic and witchcraft, for containing actual spells and curses, and for characters that use nefarious means to attain their goals. Now, of course, this is a very popular series. You can find it at pretty much any of the Corpus Christi Public Library branches in book format, audiobook format, and the movies. And all of those formats are also available on either our Hoopla app or Access 360. So they are very available. It's a very popular, very well-known series. Number 8, Drama by Raina Telgemeier. Callie loves theater, and while she would totally try out for her middle school's production of Moon Over Mississippi, she is a terrible singer. Instead, she's the set designer for the stage crew, and this year she's determined to create a set worthy of Broadway on a middle school budget. But how can she when she doesn't know much about carpentry, ticket sales are down, and the crew members are having trouble working together? Not to mention the onstage and offstage drama that occurs when the actors are chosen, and when two cute brothers enter the picture, things get even crazier. This is a graphic novel aimed towards middle schoolers, and it is, of course, fiction. It has been challenged for LGBTQIA+ content and for concerns that it goes against family values and morals. And we do have a copy of this in most of our Corpus Christi Public Library branches. Number 7, The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. This look at the near future presents the story of Offred, a handmaid in the Republic of Gilead, once the United States, now an oppressive world where women no longer are allowed to read and are valued only as long as they are viable for reproduction. This is a general adult fiction book, so if any young people decide to check it out, do keep in mind that it is intended for a more mature audience, at least age-wise. It has been banned and challenged for profanity and for vulgarity and sexual overtones. It is available at a few of our Corpus Christi Public Library branches, and the sequel to it, The Testaments, is available at most of our branches as well. Number 6, I Am Jazz by Jessica Herthel and Jazz Jennings, illustrated by Sheila McNicholas. This is Jazz Jennings' story based on her real-life experience as a transgender girl, and she tells it in a simple, clear way that is easy to understand. This is a picture book for early elementary, and as I said in the description, it is nonfiction and it is biographical. It has been both challenged and relocated for LGBTQIA+ content, for a transgender character, and for confronting a topic that is considered sensitive, controversial, and politically charged. Right now it is only available at one of our branches, so if you do decide to check this book out, I do ask that you be respectful, please take care of the book, and bring it back on time. Number 5, Prince and Knight by Daniel Hack, illustrated by Stevie Lewis. A noble prince and a brave knight come together to defeat a terrible monster and in the process find love in the most unexpected place. This is another children's picture book and meant for early elementary, and it is fiction. This one has been challenged and restricted for featuring a gay marriage and LGBTQIA+ content, for being a deliberate attempt to indoctrinate young people, with the potential to cause confusion, curiosity, gender dysphoria, and for conflicting with a religious viewpoint. This one also is only available at one branch, so again, please, if you decide to check it out, be respectful, take care of it, and bring it back on time. Number 4, Sex is a Funny Word by Corey Silverberg, illustrated by Fiona Smith. Sex is a Funny Word opens up conversations between young people and their caregivers in a way that allows adults to convey their values and beliefs while providing information about boundaries, safety, and joy. This is a nonfiction book put into a graphic novel format to make it easier for upper elementary and middle schoolers to understand. And it has been challenged, banned, and relocated for LGBTQIA+ content, for discussing gender identity and sex education, and for concerns that the title and illustrations were inappropriate, meaning people felt that they were a little too mature for the age group that it was trying to reach out to. Unfortunately, the copy that Corpus Christi Public Libraries had was lost, so if you happen to come across it or know someone who happens to come across it, we would greatly appreciate it if you would bring it back. Number 3, A Day in the Life of Marlon Bundo by Jill Twiss, illustrated by E.G. Keller. A very special boy bunny falls in love with another boy bunny. This is another picture book for early elementary, and it is fiction with quite a bit of satire in it. It has been challenged and vandalized for LGBTQIA+ content and political viewpoints, for concerns that it is designed to pollute the morals of the readers, and for not including a content warning. Now, this one is not currently available physically at any of the branches, but it is available over Hoopla right now. Now, Hoopla does tend to change out their stock fairly regularly, so if you're interested in checking out this book for yourself, you might want to do that sooner rather than later. Number 2, Beyond Magenta, Transgender Teens Speak Out by Susan Cookland. Susan Cookland shares insights into the teen transgender experience, tracing 6 individuals' emotional and physical journey as it was shaped by family dynamics, living situations, and the transition each teen made during their personal journey. This is a young adult nonfiction book, and it's kind of a collection of interviews put into a more or less autobiographical and biographical format. And it has been challenged for LGBTQIA+ content, for its effect on any young people who read it, and for concerns that it was sexually explicit and biased. The Corpus Christi Public Libraries does not have a copy of this, however, one of our affiliates does. So if you want to check it out, you can give us a call and see how we can go about getting a copy of that book for you. And do keep in mind, especially with this one, since it does not belong to the Corpus Christi Public Libraries, please, if you do decide to check it out, just like with our others, be respectful, keep it safe, and bring it back on time. Number 1, George, by Alex Gino. When people look at George, they think they see a boy. But she knows she's not a boy. She knows she's a girl. George thinks she'll have to keep this a secret forever. When her teacher announces their class play is going to be Charlotte's Web, George really wants to play Charlotte. But the teacher says she can't even try out for the part because she's a boy. With the help of her best friend Kelly, George comes up with a plan, not just so she can be Charlotte, but so everyone can see who she is once and for all. And this one is a middle grade chapter book, and it is fiction. And it has been challenged, banned, restricted, and hidden to avoid controversy for LGBTQIA+ content and a transgender character, because schools and libraries should not put books in children's hands that require discussion, for sexual references, and for conflicting with a religious viewpoint and traditional family structure. We don't have a physical copy of this book at the Corpus Christi Public Libraries, but this is another one that is available over Hoopla. Again, that one does change its stock out regularly, so if you want to check this book out for yourself, you might want to do that sooner than later. So those were the top 10 challenged books of 2019. So what can we try to conclude from this list? Well, one of the conclusions we can probably come to is that the people who are challenging these books were not part of the target audience. First of all, 9 out of 10 of them are meant for children and teens, and it's fairly safe to assume that most of challenges come from adults. So there's already a little bit of a disconnect in the way that they might read and interpret these books. There's also the factor that 8 out of 10 of them were targeted for having LGBTQIA+ content. So clearly that is the part of the community that they were trying to reach out to, and that was also the reason that it was targeted for challenges and censorship. So it's pretty unfair for people who aren't in the target audience of these books to try to restrict them and take them away from an audience that might actually want to read them. With that in mind, it's always important to remember that not everyone is going to like every book, but just because you don't like a book doesn't mean no one else will ever like it. Likewise, not everyone's going to like your favorite book either. You don't have to like every book that you read, and you don't have to finish every book that you start. It's okay to put it down and walk away. You can try again if you want to, and if not, well, you at least gave it a chance. But never deny someone else their right to read it and enjoy it. You can follow us on Facebook and YouTube for more updates. Go to cctexas.com/library to see all of our other virtual programs and to use our online browsing feature. You can also access our online catalog there and see if we have your favorite banned book. And if you want to check out one of the books on this list, you can put it on hold and have it sent to the branch closest to you. And don't forget about those 2 digital apps that I mentioned, Hoopla and Access 360. Until next time, bye.